Good evening on Saturday, February 8th. Welcome to the spontaneous diary. Likewise, in arts and science, we are here to discover and research, to set light upon what is invisible, to make it actual. And the scope goes from nature to global politics and everything in between, heaven and earth. So much to unravel through the recent piece of headlines. But let's begin from somewhere. That is the salute. My heart goes unto you. A cat picture or portrait of mine that has been cropped. I took from or at a friend's home event, and there is all the relevancy, you gotta refer to. But I'm gonna yet find the actual these Paw-arrel gestures will find their own collection, I would say, in other words, since they are so relevant, and balsam, of course. But by the same tone and note, I would say there's actually a patch on this overall that is also relevant to the collaborations that are brewing. On last Wednesday, we were at a farewell party of our friend, and there I met another kind of fresh acquaintance who has been kind of willing to go into events and sports as invited by us, but it hasn't quite happened. And those sits, likewise shown in the patch of the legs, were one of our topics. And she missed the event that is upcoming now in a couple weeks, again because the tickets are sold out in 30 minutes or so. But while we were talking about it, and by the way, I won the costume prize of the previous year. Upon that sit, I was dressed up as a doge, I would say, with a leather mask and so. But about that later, perhaps. So while our conversation, I bore in mind that I got an extra ticket there, but earlier that day I asked somebody else if they would be able to make it into the seats, so the extra ticket was kind of reserved because I don't want to simultaneously ask two persons without getting the answer from the first one. And now, checking the DMs, I got an answer 17 hours ago. So quickly checking it out, she heard that my previous message on Wednesday afternoon, where we kind of rearranged our upcoming photoshoot collaboration. since she was ill this week. And by the same message I asked if she would be able to make it to these sits. So she answered, "Oh damn, the theme would be so much on point, but I am not sits kind of person. Have fun and I will let you know when I am again in photoshoot condition." Alright, so now the resort ticket for her is up for grabs, and I'm going to this afternoon send a message to Vera in case she would be able to make it. But it was on Wednesday. It was really funny to hear her story from exact similar themed sits in another city, Turku, where she went there all dolled and dressed up in bikinis because it's the theme, and nobody else in the sits were dressed up in upon that theme. Likewise in Lappeenranta everybody does, and that's why our sits in Lappe is the best upon that theme. At least to what comes to the costumes, I can imagine. So, moving forwards to the headlines, let's say, of the day. And on IG, I was surprised that where it is, there's somebody shared a story or post by one of the major legacy news outlets in Finland. And 3 hours ago shared this story, and I was like, what a narrative the legacy media is trying to paint about the leadership in the USA right now. And they are saying that has not seen even in the movies. So they are trying to paint or blackmail the president and the Doge theme that is going by the budget line by line. They're trying to paint all that in some kind of bad light without mentioning what kind of matters they have found about the budget spending in USA. And if you are updated on the topic, you know what is going on there, and you know where this refers to. Let me get it straight. You are mad at the guy who found all the fraud and theft, but not at the people who wasted and stole that money. Idiots. So this is another piece of evidence that in Europe, most of the legacy media is completely biased. And I'm so glad I have not been spending a dime, a cent, my precious time upon those media outlets during my life. Except for the first high school year when their newspaper came for free at the school, and during the breaks I read it, mostly the opinion. I skipped the whole letter to the last one where there were writings and articles by people, and that was my favorite parts because there were actually some smart and wise people, commenting on issues of the society. But anyways, this shows that we really gotta make Europe great again. I mean, and it begins from clearing up the control, the false control, the false narratives that are spreading by the legacy media and all that. So within, you know, with all the means and, you know, dreams, how we can paint relevant and light shedding memes about all that fallacy, the better. And surely I'm brewing a collection for those moments of human hijinks and how animal antics may show them what is going on. So with all that, let's wrap up here. Continue next time. In the next upcoming videos is probably more of diary kind of context for from the previous days of the week that are going to wrap up this week. And another, on the note of those media outlet turbulence, I am wanting to post to the channel a video that I saw brought up by a Democrat member of the parliament, I guess, who shed light on the issues while also acknowledging how upset the Democrats and also the media outlets are about the leadership. Meanwhile, they are not at all talking about what has been found in the spending and the budget of USA. So that is in the link of the description. And this is what spending bonanza, and it just brings to a parallel to the spending of this city where I'm living in, Espoo in Finland. The city that should be the most resourceful, abundant, and easygoing what comes to their out and in of their budget. But apparently the city is...
What the hell happened to all the money?
At least 2.5 billion in debt. And that has been mostly caused by the crazy expansion of the city, along with metro and so on. And I am going to be a candidate in the municipal election, and I am going to go line by line through the city budget when elected, and we are going to bring common sense back to this city, because likewise member of parliament said that it has been illegal in Washington DC. That is how I feel here as well.
Debt's growing faster than our economy. Population has grown 2%. We're not having babies, and it's being wasted. And that's an insult to every taxpayer in this country.
So, let's make Europe great again. Upwards. Up there, the conquerors of the skies, eagles, are also taking care of they're hatching eggs and struggling against the hates of the nature, the storms, winds, and the landing to the nest, because it's upon a dangerous cliff, and when you carry a huge rabbit or fox on your claws and try to land it to your offspring, it's not that easy, especially when the winds are hard. Likewise, them, the conquerors of the skies, they have their struggles, and we people down to earth have our own. So I'm welcoming everybody to this researching journey or exhibition, how you expedition. And welcome to unleash and shed light upon all that makes us wiser together. Upwards. Hello, good evening. On Tuesday, February 4th. And beginning from the most productive matter on the tip of my tongue. Per se, my habit when I arrive in the library, I usually take a glance at the bookshelf of the new, fresh ones, and during the past couple days I have read a few books there, and one is of course by a friend a long-time gym buddy from Espoo, who released his book about coaching, and he already talked about it like 3 years ago, and I'm so glad he got it done. And was it already like 4 years ago? Time flies. However, I recommend that one to anybody in the coaching. And the other book was about this theory about white holes and time, interesting stuff about space-time. And then another creative project that started during the past couple of weeks is this new calendar we are going to make this year about men at work. And an artist here, a friend of mine, who I've gotten to know here really well, he wanted to take the responsibility of the artistic creation of the backdrop and some thematics. I will be of course the director of photography and so forth, along with all ideas we have. But it's good to, spare the responsibility to extra hands. Last week I already came up with an idea spontaneously at home, in which kind of picture I will be in. Of course, I will be the vacuum cleaner. Good afternoon on Wednesday, February 5th. First things first, before going into the creative on brewing, freshen up, emerging up, creative collabs. And by the way, on the note of that word, last night while laying on the bed, I was inspired to contemplate about this dilemma between that common dilemma between university students. That is, very simply said,